to have a program, give an update, you know, on what's going on. So now we have it's the perfect time. So we're going to turn it over to Marcy and Patty.
Call me anything you want. I don't care.
And
it's a hard one to remember. Dr. Mock, thank you. As a former high school teacher, I appreciate everything you do. So in the same way that you thank veterans, thank you also. Can you not hear me? All right. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. Hi, I'm Patty.
thank you.
Okay, who am I? There we go. Okay, repetition is key, right? And
I'm Marcy.
And we are here to talk to you about the general store. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Good. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I am new living on Maristone as a full-time resident, but I have been visiting Maristone for the last 15 years, and I loved the general store. And I loved would-be ice cream bars at the general store, and I loved everything about it. I drive to Fort Flagler to walk almost every morning, and every time that I drive by an empty store, it breaks my heart a little bit more. And from everyone that we've talked to, I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. So part of what we want to talk to you about today is how excited we are to obviously announce that the store is coming back, and no longer will there be a vacant store that you drive by. Marcy?
We didn't have to do anything.
No boss line comment.
No, you deserve it.
Yeah. Following that, I just wanted to say one of the young boys in that picture is my son, and every summer we would kayak from our house to the general store to get ice cream. And my father and my son would go have ice cream on the front steps every summer day. And as a family, as a community, we really miss our general store. It's really the heart and soul of our community. So we've been working and trying to get it back on the island. So here we go. One of the things I wanted to say, Scott, you did such a great job of introducing yourself. I did want to say that I don't think this would be happening if Patty didn't move to the island. Patty and I worked together at Motorola eons ago. She was my first boss. Ago. She was my first boss, and we've been friends since then. And she's an amazing businesswoman with amazing backgrounds in accounting and marketing and strategy. And I have a pretty good background too. I have an MBA, and you know I've run businesses, and I've invested in lots of businesses. So without Patty coming on board, I don't know that I would have had the gumption to say, okay, we can do this. And then we got lucky because we got a whole team together of Islanders. But here we go.
All right, first of all, in case this isn't obvious, it's happening, people. It is happening Memorial Day weekend in time for the summer season. The store is coming back.
All right.
Okay?
Wow.
Unless it's not even a sample, the store is coming back.
Are you having the tractor parade too?
So we will not be, actually, Tom and Sue will continue to do the special events, the tractor days, the polar dip, the tree lighting. We will obviously be supporting those and participating, but they are going to continue to do them. We did specifically pick that weekend, both as the kickoff to summer and also because there's obviously an event that people have such an important connection to. So speaking of connection, so these are some of the things that we heard when we talked to people that loved the store. And this is, and again, these are typical of the responses we got. Shopping was second to connecting with the community and supporting the store. And you're going to see this word community over and over and over again.
We're so eager to have the store back for practical things like picking up milk and eggs or veggies, but also for the ability to meet other islands and have a sense of community. It's all about community.
And just like everyone in this room, we're just excited to have the center of our community back. So how did we get here? So first, and I think probably people in this room contributed to the GoFundMe account that Tom and Sue's daughter set up after the fire in 2020. And they raised over $34,000, 213 different community members and businesses contributed to the GoFundMe. That got us to the vacant shell that we can now build our store in. So without that, we wouldn't be where we are today. So it's really important to remember that that was an important stepping stone to get to where we are. Last summer, we brought together an all-volunteer board. You're gonna meet most of the board tonight. All-volunteer board of 9 Islanders to reopen the store. And then finally, we did a private fundraising in the fall. And we had to do it this way for different reasons, but one reason was we really needed to make sure that there was enough financial support to really have the store back in the community. So we are delighted to announce that 37 different families and individuals invested $350,000 in the store, which gets us close to, not all the way, but close to where we need to be in good financial shape to reopen.
Yeah, that's an applause line too. We'll talk a little bit about that, more about that later, but right now we want to introduce our board. So those of you on the board who are here, if you could stand up, and if you guys have something to say about your connection to the general store.
Hi, everybody. Wait, this is just an amazing number of people in here. I don't know if I've ever seen this many. So cool. Anyway, all I have to say about the store is, I think before it burned down, I took it for granted. I lived on the south end of the island. A lot of times it's just a whole lot easier to go to QFC. And then it burned down and I realized how much I loved it. And I didn't realize it so much. And so when we get it back up and open, I'm not going to take it for granted anymore. And I'm going to go there first before I go to QFC.
Hello, everyone. Lesser half to this one here, Carol, we know that. We are blessed in our community with so many wonderful volunteers and people who step up to take on tasks. I want to point those two right there out because they are beyond amazing with what they have done to get us to this point here. So both Carol and I are honored to be part of that process, and we're going to have a great time and lots of fun in the store.
Thanks, John.
Hi, I'm Jim Nuremberg, another board member, and about the store, so I've been on the island for 6 years, and whenever we have visitors, I like to take them, or did anyway, to the store, get an ice cream, whatever, swing in the summer days, but I would always take visitors there. My wife and I would also just walk over there, which we can do from our house, to get little things, or even, believe it or not, check out a DVD. Who does that anymore? But a note on the community aspect is, we had a little happy hour with a neighbor yesterday, and I was telling her about the store. She's an old timer on the island, and I mentioned, who knows, maybe we'll do some online part too, or something. She says, no, this is community stuff. I want to go to the store and see my fellow islanders, community stuff. So I was like, so we're not going to do online and no delivery service.
Noted.
So anyway, it's been quite I will say a joy working on this team. This is a group that is determined to get it done. And I tell my wife, this is 9 type A people out there getting this done. So anyway, on to you, Linda.
Thanks. I'm Linda Secord, and we live on the north part of the island. We bought land here in 2001, and the first thing we did was go to the store. So we go into the store, and they have really good wine, and really good goat cheese, and really good bread that the bakery was delivering at the time. And we were camping, and we said, well, what else do we need? Living on the north end of the island, I stop all the time. I barely would drive by the store without stopping. Great espresso we used to get. I'm a fan of the Whitby ice cream bars as well. And I just wanted to add to what John said, that Marcy and Patty are amazing and incredible, and provided such a safe and wonderful atmosphere for our board to do the job. And you couldn't help but do what they asked you to do, because they're making it happen. So we're celebrating, and we're very excited to open the store soon.
So even though they're not on the board, and I'm not gonna name names, but in the audience right now, I already see a wood maker, craftsperson who's gonna be helping us in the store. I see someone that has helped us get all of our insurance in order. Who else? Let's see what else. Anyway, the point is that it takes a small army, and we could not be happier with the amount of support and the number of people that have jumped at the chance to be involved, so thank you.
And just to round out our team here, on this little speakerphone is Brian Waldera. He's with us, and he lives on Fort Gate Road, and is going to be our general manager of the store. So you'll get to know him really well. He's a great guy. And Jacob, Jacob's not here, but Jacob works at the Chimacum farm stand and is really familiar with the grocery business, and we're really in need of his expertise and skills, and he's a great member of the team. And then Tina Podadowski couldn't make it as well. She happens to be my wife, so one of us came, so we thought that was okay. So that's our team. And let's see, okay, so we've talked a lot about community. I think the most exciting thing about the store opening is that this isn't my store.
Not my store.
It's not Patty's store. It's not John and Carol's store. It's our store.
Yeah.
It's going to be everybody's store. It's our community store, and that was such a big, important part of how we've created this entity. So it's formed as a cooperative corporation in the state of Washington, and a co-op, the simple phrase of a co-op simply means everyone has one vote. Nobody has an outsized vote. I don't have more votes than any of you. So anyone who becomes a member in the co-op has a vote, has a say in how the business is run. And we've structured it so that we have this board that we just introduced you to, and the board runs the business, and the board can be elected every year at a membership meeting. And the board manages the general manager, and the general manager is going to manage paid staff. So we're going to have paid part-time staff and a full-time salaried general manager. But the key thing is, if you walk away with nothing else, it's our store, it's your store. And also, really, really important, anyone in the community can shop at the store. You don't have to be a member of the cooperative to shop at the store. We want everyone who can to become a member, but you don't have to. You don't have to be a member, okay? So, but it's our store. It will always be our store. And the reason we did this was because we didn't want, if I own the store and put it together, and something happened to me or my family, and I had to close it again, that's it. With this structure, if something happens to me, somebody fills my spot. Somebody else, one of you guys. We have so many capable, amazing people on this island and in this community. Fill my spot. Run the store, right? So, anyways.
No one can fill their spot, I want to make that
Yeah,
clear.
yeah. All of you can fill my spot. Okay.
Okay, so our vision. So we have spent a lot of time as a board doing field trips. And John and Carol have sent us pictures from Wyoming. Linda has sent us pictures from, I'm trying to remember where you sent the last pictures from. There have been pictures from a lot of different places. And what we are looking for is warm and welcoming. Those two words and community guide everything that we do. So these are some inspirational photographs of stores that we have visited and the kind of vibe that we want. And so we want people to be able to walk into the store. Everyone knows it's not a big store, right? I was like actually looking at the space. I'm like, okay, comparatively, We have 2,000 square feet to work with. It doesn't feel a lot bigger than this, so it's not big. And so our job is going to be to make sure that it is well organized and that when you meet someone in the aisle, it's not so crowded that you can't stop and comfortably have a conversation with them. So those are the types of things that are going to guide how we actually construct the store, which, by the way, you're going to see a lot more activity in the next couple of months as we get ready. Well organized. So you can see here 2 of our 4 board members measuring very carefully to make that are here tonight, making sure that we have sufficient aisle room, making sure that our shelving is low enough that you can see people over it, and really putting a lot of thought into how we actually do the layout and making sure that it's really well organized. We're going to, oh sorry, this is an act, can you guys actually read this? So to orient you, when you walk in off the street, this is the front door. And this, by the way, is a very rough approximation of our plans right now, which are all subject to change. But the intent is that we will have freezers and coolers lining, you see these blue, this is, can everyone see this? I know the writing's really small. So there's an ice cream chest here, and again, this may move around. Dairy and coolers like Mystery Bay. Goat cheese would be here. We have freezers here. We want to do some prepared meals where you could actually come in and get food and take it home and warm it up. There will be produce. We'll have a produce section in front. That's refrigerated produce. We'll have produce bins in front. There will obviously be lots of wine, lots of beer, lots of drinks. In the corner, Maker's Market. So if you haven't already seen, we went public today with our plans to open the store, and the number of people that have already filled out forms telling us about all the things that they would like to actually showcase in the store is astonishing. We have a lot of very, very talented makers in our community. We are going to do a small kids section. We'll have merchandise. We'll have, this is going to be like our coffee setup, bakery, and so on. Again, lots of space to move around. Notice there's not a ton of shelving in the middle so that you'll be able to navigate the store easily. Tony's going to help us make this look really beautiful over here, but we're going to get to that. So that's what it looks like in a nutshell. And as far as what we are going to carry, we're going to definitely emphasize local, but we're also going to have some convenience goods. So you can see it. Everyone recognize some brands up here that you know and love, I know. So we will have some wine that you've seen before. We will have, we have Mystery Bay cheese on here, lots of local, of course, everyone, the Whippy ice cream bars. I don't know if that's exactly what we'll carry, but something close to that. Huge emphasis on local, but also just convenience items that you may need. And also our vision is to appeal to a wide range of shoppers. So we want people that live on the island to shop here, but we also want guests to shop here. So you can see we want people that need ingredients for s'mores to be able to come to the store. We want people that have worked up an appetite hiking in Fort Flagler. That's Marcy and her mom. We want kids that are kayaking to come to the store. We really just want, this is actually, that's the vineyard. And then riding bikes in Flagler, we want everyone that's on the island to come and shop at the store. And our financials. Okay, here's fun stuff. So this is what we have in the bank. And by the way, just so you know, our goal, this is a community store, is to be fully transparent with our financials. So if you want information about performance or you want any information about what's in the bank, we will always share this information. So starting with what we have right now, we have $350,000 in the bank, and which is really incredible. We want to see another $50,000 in preferred investor shares, and then very importantly, we want to have 200 new members sign up, which will be another $50,000 in the bank. The member shares are $250 each for a lifetime. Today alone, we have 50 new members. So we're making good progress. So that's the good news.
Is that 50 in addition to the 30 you had?
That's correct. Yeah.
Actually, we had 60,
Sign
and
up
so
today.
60 to
We
start
had
with. 50 additional today, so we're at 110. I mean, my goal has been a 500, but she wouldn't let me put that up there. So I think we can do it, folks. Just got to tell all your friends.
I'm all about undercommitting and overperforming on this, so, anyway, so that's the good news, but now we need to start spending a lot of money. So equipment, furnishings, the things that we need to do to improve the building space is gonna be at least 150. Our startup expenses, so that's everything. That's getting our website up, that's legal fees, that is the extensive work we need to do with the county on permitting. We have 30,000 in there. We're making good progress with the county, I'm happy to report. Thank you, Jim. And inventory and merchandise, so we still, we need to invest in what we're gonna sell, and we will have some store merch, and year one operating funds. So we will definitely operate at a loss for the first year. We are going to, I'm hoping to sign the lease with Tom and Sue tomorrow. So we will have expenses that we're incurring as we are getting ready to start up the store. That leaves us with 130 in an operating reserve. That is not a lot of money. So when a cooler goes down, when a freezer needs to be replaced, when we have to close because we have a cold snap and we lose power, we need to make sure we have sufficient money that we can keep paying our people and we can keep the lights on. So we need to have some cushion and some liquidity. Okay?
Run a capital.
Say that again?
Run a capital.
Yeah, that's your world. So I guess I'm gonna go back here a little bit. So I think what this says, that we can't obviously have a capital levy, but we've done a tremendous job. Thank you to everyone in the room who has invested to date. And we're hopefully gonna grow with lots of new members. But we still have a ways to go. So we've done great. We still need to move forward and raise some more money so that we can set the store up for success. It's a retail business. It's small margins, and it's we're not quite where we need to be yet.
And I think, Barcy, it's a great point. I want to make sure everyone knows our goal is to break even every year. That's it. That's our goal. And if we can do that, we can keep the store running for a long time. So we are not looking to make money. We're not looking to do anything other than make sure that the store is here for your kids, for your grandkids, and that we don't have to come back and do another capital raise 5 years from now because half of our equipment is blown out. It's not going to happen. But something has happened and we need more money. We don't want to ever be in that position. We want the business to be able to sustain itself.
And for those of you who have invested and who might be thinking about investing, none of us invested with the thought that we're going to make any money off of this. This is a community investment. We're investing in our island. We're investing in all of you, making connections at the store. So no one should invest if they want to make money off of this. It's not going to happen.
It's not a retirement plan, to make it very, very clear.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times Barcy and I have given the investor pitch. 100 times, I think we counted, between the two of us, some of those together, some of those individually, and we repeat that line over and over again. So we are going to do everything we can to be responsible with the money that we have been trusted with, but it's not really something where you're going to see a ton of return.
Yeah. So aside from the memberships that we talked about a little bit, I'm going to talk about that some more. The main thing is we need the community to be behind the store and to shop there. Everybody to be behind the store and to make it their, like Carol said, their first stop when they come on the island, their last stop when they leave the island. So shopping, key, number one. And we're going to have great stuff, so you're going to want to go there. Okay, so then I spoke about membership. So for $250, I know that's a lot of money, so it's not for everybody, and I want to talk about that a little later, but for $250 for a lifetime membership, you become a member to the store. And again, like the investment, you're not getting a ton of extra stuff. You're going to get some special member discounts. A weekend in March, a weekend in October, where you can have a special discount. But you shouldn't become a member thinking you're going to save money, a lot of money going to the store, right? You're doing it for the community. So, but you become this owner of a local cooperative. It's the greatest thing. You also can become a volunteer. You can join the board. You can be on a board committee. So this is a page from our new site. If any of you want to go to the site, it's up and running. It's easy to buy a membership online. Just follow the process. I also have paper copies here tonight and self-addressed stamped envelopes. And magnifying glasses. If you want those. So just come up to me afterwards and I can get you set up. And other ways to get involved, we talked about them a little bit, but shop. Become a member. If you're a member, you can invest and own preferred shares, which we hope will have dividends in the future. I mean, that is a hope. Quimper is a community-owned store. It opened in 2012, and 10 years later, lo and behold, I get a check in the mail, and I'm like, oh cow, I'm rich. Of course, it was, fraction of what I put into it, but it's so cool. So we're hoping for that in 10 years, but don't plan on it. Volunteering, we need help with the build out. John and Carol are doing a tremendous job to help us build out the store, but we need, and Tony's here who might help with some carpentry.
It's not a mic, Marcy.
Tony's gonna help, but anybody, if you have skills, if you wanna build out the store, we need you. Donations, this isn't necessarily about money, although I think you can give us money if you want. It's just not tax deductible, but this is about artifacts, found objects, things that you think would be great in the store that you have in your house. A shelving unit that is cool. We don't really want the old IKEA stuff, but neat character-filled stuff that you think would be great in the store. We want those. The pictures, old photos, whatever you think could contribute. Now, we're not going to be perfect. We won't be able to utilize everything, so apologies in advance. But we'll do our best. I'll just put it on John and Carol. They'll do their best to figure it out. And yeah, so on the site, there are all these forms. Just click there and fill out what you have, and we'll get in touch with you. If you're an artist, if you're an artisan, a maker, creative, cool things you want to sell at the store, your daughter is, your son, whatever.
Marcy, there's a blanket being crocheted in row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now.
There you go. Excellent. So we want to really, we said this before, but we want to highlight local. We want to support our local makers, our local artisans. We want to support Cynthia and her Marrowstone Island sweatshirts and gear. We want to be able to we're also going to sell Nordland General Store gear, but we can sell both, right? So some people want Marrowstone Island and some people want Nordland General Store. They have a choice, right?
Or they can have both.
Or they have both. So yeah, I think that's it. We are here with our team to answer any questions you might have. We're ready for it.
And everyone sees the website address, pretty obvious, nordlandgeneralstore.com. Super easy to find. Questions? Yes.
What do you have arranged for a lease situation in terms of longevity, in terms of cost, that kind of thing?
Excellent question. We have a total term of 23 years. So our initial term is 3 years and we have 5-year renewals after the first 3 years. Does that answer your question or?
Is there
As much as
any
can be.
chance, is there any chance of the post office ever coming back?
Outstanding question. Where is my friend Jim? Okay, so here's what we have done. So we have facilitated letters from so I went in and met with the postmaster in Port Hadlock, and I basically said, like, look, we're ready. We'll send you 500 letters from people on the island. He's like, please don't do that. What would be helpful, so the portion of the USPS that runs retail operations, that's our sticking point. So right now, if you go in there, it's pretty amazing. Like, it is ready to go. So they just need a clerk to go in there and basically start the actual work of opening the post office. So he said, that's what we're waiting for is staffing. And that's the log jam. So he said, if you can give me a few letters from community organizations detailing out why you want the post office back, that's gonna help. Because what I need is I need a few things I can forward onto that group. So we did that. Jim, right? One, we sent, why don't you just go ahead and talk about that? And then we have the online petition too.
So letters went from MICA, MIF.
Can you guys hear him?
Yes.
Friends of Fort Flagler.
No, he
And
needs the
then-
mic.
Pardon me? You do need
Okay,
the mic?
Rita, here, everybody.
So we organized a letter campaign, mostly, as Patty said, from the main organizations in the island. So MICA, you folks sent a letter. MIF, we sent a letter. Friends of Fort Flagler, Mark. And then we were doing an island-wide petition that Cheryl Burnett's been working on. I need to get a status on that. I think she did send it onward. But that was to satisfy the postmaster that we weren't going to send 500 letters. So instead we did these big batches of sentiment, I'll say, of please reopen the post office. And it does mean a lot to the store as well. And the community is a gathering place, so we're all for it, want to see it. As Patty said, the space is ready. Even all the old boxes are there. If you like those, they're there. Ready to go, turn those dials and open them up. So
I'm an optimist, and it's going to come back.
So
We'll do that.
and the USPS has signed a lease for that space through 2027. So there's good reason to believe that it's going to happen. We just need to keep gently pushing to get it to happen. Yes?
I'm wondering if down the road you envision having member accounts. So for example, I belong to a co-op overseas, and when we'd go shopping, because there was a long line of people waiting to get through the line, they would tally up everything and we'd sign a thing, and then once a month, we'd go and we'd pay our bill. Do you imagine anything like that for members?
So Lee, I can tell you that we've talked about a lot of things, and that's one of the things that has come up. I think certainly at opening, we won't have the capacity, the infrastructure to be able to do that. Is it something we might consider? I'd put it in the might category, Barcy.
I think it's a definite phase 4 or 5. You know, the old Rolodex with the blue, we're gonna have that, but in a updated version. I'm with you.
It is a maybe, but it's a pretty distant maybe. Got it.
Are you going to keep the stove?
The stove is gone, and the county will not let the stove come back. Someone did suggest that we put up like one of the TVs with a little like fireplace burning situation. Like, not the same thing, right? Yes.
What's the status of the Mystery Bay Yacht Club?
That's a really good question that we don't have an answer for. That is a Tom thing, right? It's all Tom. I'm sure it's gonna be divided well.
I carry your Virgie halfway around the world. I would like to continue to do so.
I'm sure he'd be happy. We'll get back to you on that. Good question.
So there's a 23-year lease on the store, but if Tom decides to sell the property at some point, is there something written in that would give the community a chance to actually own the property in perpetuity?
So we have the right of first refusal
That's
if the
it.
building is sold.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll basically cross that bridge when we get to it, but yeah. By the way, our attorney extraordinaire, we have in-house counsel, by the way, because we fancy. Here's our in-house counsel.
I'm a has-been, but.
So, yeah, we're pretty fortunate to have Carol on board and to do the majority of the heavy lifting with the lease. So, yes, we have a right of first refusal both if the building is sold unless they basically sell the building to their daughter. That's the only exclusion. And then we also have, if the US Post Office decides not to take that space, or Amanda, I'm sure that the art gallery is gonna be there forever, but if any of the other additional space becomes available, we also have right of first refusal to lease additional space for the store.
In addition to the other legal things, Carol helped us with we used Cutting Edge Counsel out of Oakland, California as our main attorney. And they specialize in cutting edge, cool community businesses. That's why we use them. They also worked with Whimper way back in 2012. But Carol was instrumental in helping us, finish our bylaws, our articles of incorporation, our membership agreements. And those are all on the website for you to take a look at. It's an open book, if you like that kind of thing, if it helps you sleep at night. It's all there.
Mike?
Yeah, thanks. I love the fact that you're supporting and featuring makers. I'm wondering if there's a thought to offering classes and things like that to foster that community center.
It's a great idea. We had thought of that. It's a great idea. We'll put it on the list. Phase
8?
More space.
It's not a day one thing.
Not a day one, but it's a good idea.
There are lots of things we'd like to do. We would like to have more extensive food service. We have someone on our board who's run a restaurant. So we would really like to do more, but we are somewhat restricted by the space, by the septic, by the bathroom situation. So we're gonna do what we can. Our job right now is to get the store opened in May and hopefully be able to pour a few espresso drinks and get some ice cream bars into the hands of some very, very happy people.
What is the bathroom situation?
There is an employee-only bathroom inside the store, and for right now, that's where we're gonna leave things.
Really? If it's an emergency, I think that's okay.
Well, no, that's we've talked through that.
But I think we're gonna have a honey bucket, right? I gotta talk to her. I think we're gonna have a honey bucket.
Make it a member only.
Great idea.
Hi.
Is the store going to incorporate any of the watercraft rentals and that kind of thing?
Not to start. We don't have access to that, to
The pier, the pier isn't ours. So Tom and Sue have told us that if people hypothetically wanted to come and get a few beers and sit out, there's I think 3 tables with a few seats each. If they wanted to walk across the road and sit at the tables and enjoy their beer and their snacks, they wouldn't kick them off. But as far as actually officially using the space to do any type of rental and all the liability and insurance and everything, at this point, I think it's enough.
Well, included with that, there's a lot of boaters, both island and visitors to Mystery Bay, that would boat up there to shop and or do some other things. Is the dock going to be allowed for that kind of stuff?
They go to Mystery Bay usually, they're long.
We hope so, but it's really unofficial. It's really informal. I mean, I've kayaked there for years, and I just land on the shore. I don't think I'm supposed to. Well, somebody owns that, and they probably maybe get mad at me, but I do it. So, don't get hurt. And I don't know. It's unofficial. But
there will also be some furniture in the store that has price tags attached to it, that if you wanted to try it out for a little chat with your friends, you could, I don't know.
Yeah, and I want to say that Tom and Sue have been very gracious through this whole process, and they're excited for a community store. They're really excited. They're all about community, and we're hoping to be good partners with them as they will be with us.
Quick question, there's something being built across the street that somebody said resembles a future pizza oven.
That's Cameron's Pizza Oven. Does everyone know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
It's Cameron's Pizza Oven. The bottom line is, We don't know, Tom and Sue don't really know, and we're just gonna see what happens.
But it's Cameron's, it's not the store's.
It has nothing to do with us.
It's Cameron and Tom and Sue's situation. And hopefully it will deliver delicious pizzas at some point, and bread maybe from Cam. But it has nothing to do with the store. Any other? Yeah.
Yeah, is the store gonna have the use of the parking lot on the water side of the street?
Yeah, we're gonna have the across the street in front and to the sides. As long as Amanda, we don't park Amanda in. And the spot right by the store is gonna be for ADA, for handicap accessibility and loading, right, Jim?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, but we'll have a couple spots there too. And I know before the thought was we never could park in that area, but we're gonna have a couple of spots there.
You're gonna have a ramp for ADA?
We are working on that. We're hopeful. We're very hopeful. Gonna do that. Jim is your man.
What kind of volunteers are needed?
Excellent question. So right now, our focus is really on getting the store open.
MICA.
So we need volunteers to help with build out. We will eventually need help with stocking shelves and managing inventory. For the first summer, we are not gonna have volunteers actually take shifts to run the store. We need to get our operations going. We need to get all of our processes and procedures documented in line, but we will have volunteers doing a lot of other things. I'm trying to think of other categories we've talked about.
Picking up items, so driving.
Yeah, we're still, that one we kind of have to work through because of liability related issues, but we do, for instance, like Pandemori bread, like we love it, we want it. We may not be able to order enough to justify them making a delivery, but they may do it to Chimicum, to the farm stand, so we would need someone to actually shuttle and do pickups there. So we're still working through it.
And then greeters. They're just like greeters, but friendly community folks who just say, how can I help you? That kind of thing. I mean, we're figuring it out. We don't honestly really know, but we're gonna have paid employees doing the cash register for now. Because we think that's just the safe, secure way to go.
Is there something you're interested in?
Well, I was wondering about your website.
All right, we'll talk.
All sorts of volunteer. Website, social media, photography, it's our store. Anything we need to do, we have to do it ourselves. So love volunteers.
That would be awesome. All right, done.
Well
Thank
done.
you.